like this match is over, he's about to hit him with the big slam.
Again, thanks for your support, and we'll see you at the matches right here, OneWrestling.com.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Big Slam Nation. We went on a little hiatus. Want to give a big shout out to Big Ray, who had some issues, but now he's better and he's recuperating in a hospital bed. Peace to Big Ray. You will be better soon. Big Slam Nation, my name is Billy Ray Valentine. What's going on, everybody? A-Track Brown, the dirtiest of the city. The Professor Anthony Quintana, all the way from Bombay, New Jersey. We got one topic for you today. This is what's going to take up the entire well, we're going to try. Maybe we'll talk about other stuff. I can't promise we're going to stick to this, but we're going to talk about Roman Reigns and what went wrong with Roman Reigns. What's the problem with Roman Reigns? A-Track Brown, say hello to the people, man.
Yo, what's going on? Yeah, we got a lot to talk about here.
Professor Anthony Quintana, what's up, man?
What's going on, Slamites? I've missed y'all. The professor has missed you.
All right. Hey, we're all from New York here. I know we got viewers from all over the world. Just want to show you guys something. The cover of the New York Post here in New York. Now, the New York Post isn't exactly credible news, but it's widely circulated in New York. Check it out. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
You did a sex tape with Hulk Hogan?
Not me.
Oh.
This woman right here. I think if I'm pointing in the right.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Her. She had a sex tape with Hulk Hogan. Here you go. It's all over the news. If you want to read about it, go on the internet. You can find something. And that's that. All right, so let's talk about Roman Reigns, man.
Wait a minute, Billy Ray.
What's up?
Didn't Hulk Hogan claim he had something in the manhood department? Forget it.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. I don't watch that stuff.
We're not, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, okay?
I don't know either. I'm just asking.
I have a feeling you do, but I don't want to find that out. I don't want to know. All right, so Roman Reigns, right? He debuted with the Shield, right? And quickly he became the apple of Vince McMahon's eye. He was supposed to be the man to take the WWE to the next phase, to the next generation, the new John Cena. And I think in a lot of ways they got that. And that's not what we want, not what people want anyway. Tell me something about Roman Reigns, A-Track. Did you think this guy was actually going to be the man way back then?
I knew that he had that look, so yeah, I knew he was gonna be Vince's choice. And actually, he was more than just Vince's choice. Here tell from the story that it was actually a choice between Big E and Roman Reigns, and Steph chose Roman Reigns. And, we see what Big E is doing. So I'm not surprised at all. Like in the when the Shield was around, everybody pretty much saw that Roman Reigns they were trying to put Roman Reigns as the focus. And I kept trying to tell people, the Seth Rollins guy he's actually the man. Like this dude is nasty. But so it's just no surprise that they are where they are right now. And it's no surprise that this dude is getting booed out of the building because they refuse to listen to anyone, or Vince refuses to listen. It's plain and simple. Like a few minutes ago, I was watching the SmackDown, the opening segment. Roman Reigns came out. He spoke for like 2 minutes, and then he was out. And I was sitting there. I was like, okay, yeah, that's what you should be doing. That's the way he's supposed to be booked.
But is it too late?
Let him say, "Oh, it's too late." It is. It's too late because as we saw this past Monday, he pretty much did the same thing he did the first time when he went off on Triple H, and this time he was welcomed with boos. All right. No matter what he did.
Let me get the professor in here real quick. Let me just talk to the professor. Listen. I remember watching the Royal Rumble with you a few years ago, and a couple of other people. And everybody was chanting Roman Reigns when it was Roman Reigns and Batista. Everyone losing their minds over Roman Reigns, except for Billy Ray Valentine. You could be my witness. I know I was the only one. I'm like, hey, this isn't gonna work. But everybody else was losing their minds. What happened? What went
I don't
wrong
even
there?
remember that.
You weren't there, A-Track Brown. Professor, go ahead.
Well, A-Track, I think you glossed over about about a year and a half of stuff because you really went to the present about when the fans were booing him.
He really did.
But Billy Ray just pointed out that the fans were cheering Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when the Shield came out, it was 3 equal people with Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and himself. We all knew their identities in the ring when they all had the matches together, and Roman Reigns was the cleanup guy. He was the designated hitter. He was giving out the spears and the jackhammers and the power bombs, no matter what. And the fans ate it all up. And in that Royal Rumble that Billy Ray's talking about, the one that led to WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan, everybody was mad that Daniel Bryan was not in the Royal Rumble that year. Let's get it out the way because I'm not going to gloss that over. But no one wanted Batista to be in the main event. So who was in the ring with him? It was Roman Reigns. And everybody was like, look, this is a young guy here. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of momentum. And we all know that this guy is going to be the man someday. Maybe it was going to be a little bit too quicker. But Vince McMahon saw it. And Vince McMahon just said, you know what? If the fans want this guy, maybe we need to push it a little bit faster. So you know what? After that, then the momentum keeps going and going and going for him. And then if you notice the epic stare down between the Shield and the Wyatts, who was in the middle of that? Who was like the leaders? It was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns.
Well, that's when. Let me interrupt you, man. That's when they already started getting behind Roman Reigns initially.
Right.
The leader of the Shield was clearly Dean Ambrose. Initially, at the very beginning, remember they put the U.S. title on Dean Ambrose. He was the singles guy. The other two were the tag team champions. So Dean Ambrose was the focal point, and then Vince McMahon zeroed in on Roman Reigns, and it was like, we're going with this guy. And then he became the focal point, and he took the middle. He was the middle guy with Bray Wyatt. Definitely, you're absolutely right. So anyway, continue.
And don't forget, he was the middle guy with the Evolution stare downs too. So everything was right there for it, and the fans ate it up. But then something happened, Billy Ray.
What happened?
They broke him up, and then. The IWC,
real quick.
Hold on. Let him finish.
Analyzing.
Go ahead. Say that again. Repeat that.
I'm going to say it. The IWC, YWC, once they broke up, they started analyzing who can talk, who can do this, who can do that. Everybody was then analyzing Roman Reigns' shortcomings. And you know what the shortcomings was that he wasn't talking. All he said while he was in the Shield was, believe that.
All right.
That's it.
Track.
All he ever said.
What were you going to say?
I guess I have to go back and look at that Royal Rumble because I remember that Royal Rumble that Batista was in. Everybody got booed. Roman Reigns got booed. Batista got booed.
No.
Yes.
No, really.
All right. I'm going to go back and look at that because my memory is short on that. I remember him getting cheered for a while.
Well, he did get cheered. That's what
for like
the
2
point.
minutes. Once people realized Daniel Bryan wasn't coming out, they were like, to hell with everybody in this thing.
At the end of that Royal Rumble, it was Batista and it was Roman Reigns. They already knew Daniel Bryan wasn't showing up. Go ahead, Professor. What was that?
The two biggest boos was Batista winning the Royal Rumble and Rey Mysterio being in the Royal Rumble.
All right. So Roman Reigns was the de facto. Anybody but Batista. Roman Reigns was the man. Yeah, you got to look at that again. Because anyway, go ahead. Do you have anything else to add besides that?
No, I'm just saying, like, they when they were putting Roman Reigns in the middle, Roman Reigns was not getting those pops after a while. It's like when they had the Shield, I noticed. I was like, yo, Seth Rollins is this dude that people actually gravitating to because when he would get the hot tag, people would go nuts. And originally, Batista, Reigns kind of was getting that hot tag, and then after a while, when Seth Rollins started to get the hot tag, people would start going crazy because they knew he was going to do some off the wall stuff. But like I said, it's just that, you know, at this point, man, my thoughts on what they can do to save Roman Reigns is what I felt they might do.
We're not there yet. We're taking it piece by piece. Then we'll talk about saving Roman Reigns towards the end, if that can even be done. If anybody can do it, it's A-Track Brown. All right. He can save Roman Reigns. But give me the evolution of Roman Reigns. We're talking right now him being the man. You're talking about the people actually booing him. When did that come about? When did the people actually start turning on Roman Reigns? Can you pinpoint that?
Yeah, when the people started to notice that this was the handpicked guy by Vince. Mm-hmm. When people started to notice that he was the dude that was going to replace John Cena. Not that they wanted John Cena, not that people wanted John Cena to be the man still, but it was the fact that this was a corporate pick. You know, it was clear that he was the guy that Vince wanted because the women and the children would cheer him, and and so people were quick to reject it. And then he started talking. And then it just got worse and worse. And then it was that Royal Rumble where when people wanted Daniel Bryan in it again. And
but at that point we predicted that was going to happen. Go ahead, A-Track, Brown. Go ahead, Professor. I'm sorry.
The same.
Go ahead, Professor.
No, before the Royal Rumble, the first instances of booing was his first feud against Randy Orton during that SummerSlam time before the Royal Rumble that he won. Because everybody started then critiquing him. The matches were not that bad. Well, I'm not going to say it was that good, but it wasn't, and memorable, but it wasn't that bad. But he was talking. And then certain things it snowballed from there.
He still wasn't that good in the ring. I said at that time he still wasn't that good in the ring.
Yeah,
we were like, if Randy Orton can't make him look good, this guy's going to be a complete failure.
I remember having that conversation. Yeah, I remember that. I think Professor's right. I think that's when it started. That was the beginning of it. By the time we got to the Royal Rumble, I remember it wasn't a BSN. I remember doing a show here on One Wrestling. I don't know if you were on it, but I certainly remember saying that he was inevitably going to get booed in Philadelphia. I think we all spoke about that was going to happen. So we all saw that coming already. So he was already getting booed at one point prior to that, and I think it may have started around the Randy Orton situation, and and then they didn't do the guy any favors by putting him in the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia and announcing Daniel Bryan to come. I will never understand that. I will never understand how you put Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble and expect a different result than what you got. And then you get The Rock. Didn't The Rock come out on that one too?
Yeah, he came.
Yeah.
He thought,
and they all get booed.
They got booed. So and The Rock had to look on his face like, seriously?
and you know what? They could have done this very differently. All they had to do was debut Daniel Bryan the next night. He didn't have to come in on a Royal Rumble. He didn't have to, but they put him in there.
They were going to boo him regardless because they wanted Bryan in that Rumble.
Yeah, but if they didn't,
even if he wasn't in it,
that's the thing.
They weren't having it.
Daniel Bryan was hurt. That's the reason he wasn't in the Rumble. That's the reason he wasn't.
I meant the year later.
Oh, I'm talking about this year.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Bryan, not this year, but that year. That particular Rumble, he was hurt. So people weren't expecting Daniel Bryan. That was the best way to try to get Roman Reigns a little bit over. They weren't expecting Daniel Bryan. But then they plugged him into the Rumble. I remember when they plugged him in, I automatically said, Daniel Bryan is winning this Royal Rumble, right? I'm like, it has to. No one's thinking otherwise in the WWE. Like, they can't put this guy in the Rumble and have him lose, right? Right? Go ahead, Professor. Go ahead. Tell me.
You know what? I think, Billy Ray, you also eloquently said on the PW Hustle podcast that the plan was in motion.
On Podbean?
Roman Reigns was going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns was going to win the Rumble, and he was going to be in WrestleMania and become the heavyweight champion. You did say this.
I did say that.
And, and then you was like, well, wait a minute. I don't know. Daniel Bryan's in the Rumble.
No, you're absolutely right. I was saying it the whole time. I was like, okay, it's happening. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. He's going to win the WWE title. It's happening. Lock it up. And then once they announced Daniel Bryan, I was like, okay, it's over. Daniel Bryan has to win, right? He has to win, right? Like, I just didn't understand it. Go ahead, Professor. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's okay. But, again, I'm going to critique the Rumble now. Remember where Roman Reigns was placed?
Yeah.
He was like around 17, maybe 18, 19. And here's one of the critiques I had, and a lot of people even saw. The man was winded by like the 25th person.
Definitely. Yeah.
He didn't have a great showing. He had like his moments when he started, but then once like number 25 and 26 came out, he was like, he was all winded and he was like sitting in the corner. He was like, I hope no one notices me, but that's Philadelphia. That's the smartest crowd in the United States. So you know what? Roman Reigns was found out, and Roman Reigns could do all he could, even eliminating Rusev and The Rock coming out. It just didn't help him. That's all.
Hey, Trek, what did you think about that Rumble, man?
I thought that Rumble sucked. Plain and simple.
What did you think about the Roman Reigns reception?
The past 3 Rumbles were terrible. That's just the way it is.
Hold on.
Go on for 3 years in a row, they sucked.
The last Rumble wasn't bad.
That is expert.
The last Rumble, Triple H won the title, okay?
Yeah, but it wasn't bad otherwise.
I repeat myself. The last Rumble, Triple H won the title.
Okay, A-Track Brown, I get you. What were you saying, Professor?
I was about to say expert analytics by A-Track Brown.
Hashtag wrestling analysis. I think that's what we normally say. Anyway, give me something, man. So, I know we knew Roman Reigns was going to get booed out the building that night. I know we knew it was a bad recipe. Almost like, let me fast forward a year. Almost like them throwing AJ Styles in there along with him. Like, come on now, really?
It was so simple what they had to do.
And this is in Philly or this year?
Listen, in Philly, there's really nothing they could have done.
I think there's I think all they had to do was not have Daniel Bryan in that Royal Rumble,
or not have Roman Reigns even win. That was their best. That was their best plan. What they could have did, I don't know, man. I don't know who else was on that spot. Like, yeah, Daniel Bryan shouldn't have been in that Royal Rumble. I don't think it would have helped either way. Mm-hmm. Reigns still would have got booed. They still probably would have been going nuts for Daniel Bryan, even if they, didn't have him in it. There was nothing that they could have done. Nothing. They tried everything, and it just did not work. And they knew that it wasn't going to work for WrestleMania, which is why they had Seth Rollins cash in. The dude was just not ready. He was just not ready. And he would have been ready had they just done this thing right. And it's like they can't help themselves. And it's like, how?
Well, I think the issue is that they want him to be a face the entire time. They want him to be a good guy champion. And that's just not translating. But even back then, we could tell that it was not translating. But they haven't pulled the trigger. I forgot where it was that I was guaranteeing that they were going to pull the trigger on Roman Reigns. I forgot what pay-per-view that he was going to turn heel, and he just didn't. He actually won the title. Where was it that he won the title? At the end of the tournament. Him versus Dean Ambrose, right? That's what it was?
Yeah. And that should have been him turning heel.
Yeah. I thought that was the opportune moment to turn him heel. You could have turned him heel before that. But anyway, go ahead, A-Track.
And it wasn't like, I can understand them saying no to John Cena turning heel. You gain to lose some money there, at least in the beginning. But Roman Reigns isn't drawing a dime right now. So it's like, what do you lose by turning him heel? It's not like you see a sea of Roman Reigns shirts in the audience.
Absolutely.
So it's like you had nothing to lose by turning him heel. You actually would have probably profited from turning him heel.
Probably.
So it's like you're scared for no reason, and you have all these excuses for why you don't want to turn the guy heel. But it's obvious every single former performer or commentator in the WWE saying yes, he has to turn heel, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Professor. Give me something.
Well, you know what?
Speak up just a little bit, brother.
After. I'm sorry.
Let's
go back to the Royal Rumble that he won. After he won, he was a victim of circumstance also. Let's be honest here. Okay. I mean, Brock Lesnar, because of his pay-per-appearance deal before the first WrestleMania match that they had, he wasn't on the shows. He wasn't on Raws to build up that storyline. And Roman Reigns was a victim of that. How can you build up a program with somebody who's not there every week?
Do you really think that anything would have been better if Brock Lesnar was there for Roman Reigns?
It might have been worse, to be honest with you.
They might have
really booed him out the building. Yeah,
but there was no way people are going for Brock over Reigns.
Reigns over Brock. All the folk. all the focus was on Roman Reigns to build up something, and he's young, he's green. How are you going to depend on him to be in that spotlight to build up a match? But you need Paul Heyman. You needed Brock Lesnar to do it, and you didn't really get that. And he was a victim.
The build would have been better. I definitely think the build would have been better. But as far as Roman Reigns' reputation and his status with the people, that wouldn't have gotten any better.
You know what? And I think it had little to do with the build. I think the match delivered.
They were already on Brock's side anyway.
Yeah. You know, I really think it had very little to do with the build. He was doomed from the
match. The match was good because you expected less from it. That's my opinion.
Probably, you're probably right. I didn't expect much, and it was pretty good. But that's still makes it a good match. You can't take anything away from that because we expected less.
And of course, I made that bold prediction of Seth Rollins cashing in. It was me, the professor. I said that to y'all. Remember that?
Yes, you did. You didn't exactly say how it was going to happen, but yes. You did pick that, yes. Giving you your.
But
accolades.
Anyway, let me just go back with the Roman Reigns and
all right.
How the professor is in the other side of saying that Roman Reigns should not turn heel. It's not going to work. I'm the only one that's going to say this. I don't agree with all the wrestling legends. I don't agree with Jim Ross. I don't agree with you guys. I just don't agree. It just won't matter that Roman Reigns turning heel will do anything.
Tell me why won't it matter?
Plain and simple. I can use one example. Sheamus. I know it's not the same thing, but listen to when I say this.
Where did Sheamus you get that? Hold on.
What was that?
Let me see that.
What was that?
Oh, okay. All right. I thought, when you held it up to the camera.
You thought it was a real one?
Yeah, I was like, what? Where did you get the Infinity Gems track?
I got it from Thanos. What are you talking about, man?
Anyway, go ahead, Professor. Go ahead, Professor. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That was a good thing. I want to use the Sheamus example. I mean, they're not in the same league as each other, but it's the same argument. When Sheamus was a good guy and everybody was like not caring about his matches, not caring about his promos, and then when Sheamus got injured, what did people say? This man needs to turn heel. And when he gets back, a lot of pundits said he needed to turn heel. He needed to get a fresh start.
Some people said that. Most people didn't give a damn.
That's my point.
There you go. That's the point. When he came back, no one gave a damn. And now I fear the same thing for Roman Reigns. Once you ask him to do something, no one's gonna give a damn. He should be a Samoan member of the League of Nations. That's how he won't. That's how he will be.
That is horrible. That's how he will be. Listen. The difference between Sheamus and Roman Reigns is that Sheamus has been pushed and then stopped, and pushed and then stopped, and pushed and then stopped. Sheamus was a mid-carder that, when he returned, got the WWE title.
Sheamus is only a transitional guy.
Yeah, you can't compare that. Roman Reigns has not lost his push. He's been pushed since the push started, and he continues to be pushed. And that's the difference. He's still in the limelight. He's still relevant. A Roman Reigns heel turn would set the IWC and the wrestling world pretty much on fire. Maybe it is short term. That all depends on Roman Reigns and what he can pull off with his character. But it would happen nonetheless. Sheamus, it was a little spark. Maybe that. I personally could care less. I didn't know why they put the title on Sheamus to begin with. And then that's just another thing we can talk about with the whole Roman Reigns saga. They went as far as to put, they were like, how do we get this guy over? How do we get this guy over? Hey, let's have him fight Sheamus. Let's have him feud with Sheamus because no one cares about Sheamus. So maybe they'll cheer him. Or they hate
it's
Sheamus.
The John Cena formula. It's exactly what it is.
Tell me the John Cena formula. JC equals MC A-Track Brown. Tell me.
The John Cena formula is like this. You put a guy up against a guy who people probably either really just don't like or do not care about, in the hopes that they will just pick the face. And then what you do is you align him with a bunch of other baby faces who people like. And then what happens is the baby faces that people like, people start not to like them anymore because they're aligned with the person who they already don't like. But with this case, what they did is they aligned Roman Reigns with some faces, and with the exception of Dean Ambrose, they started to hate the people that he was aligned with. They started turning on the Usos.
Yeah.
They didn't turn on Dean Ambrose, but they really just didn't care about Roman Reigns. And I actually have to give the WWE audience a little bit more credit than I usually do, because they weren't falling for it. They were just like, it's almost like were the arenas filled with IWC fans?
No, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
they could see this coming from a mile away, and they're like, "No, we're not going for this. This is not the dude we want."
But I think it's more than that. Go ahead.
It could be more than that, because when you fast forward to what was it, Survivor Series?
All right.
I forgot which event it was, when he goes nuts and he beats the hell out of Triple H. TLC.
Yeah.
So when he does that, everybody was going nuts, because it was like, yes, this is what we want to see. We want to see this guy just go nuts and break stuff. And it worked.
For a second.
It worked for a second.
Yeah.
He got the title. People were happy. Then take it. Tell him, Professor.
Then he talked. Then he smiled.
Yeah. You know what, man?
The smirks came.
That's a problem, man.
But
Even before he had the title, it was all about suffering succotash and potatoes
that was before.
shriveled up runes. No, it's
tater tots.
It's just a tater tots. It's all a culmination of everything that people were like, what?
Well,
are you serious?
They were trying to turn him into The Rock. They're like, maybe you can be funny and people will like you. It just wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. He couldn't. Not only was it not funny, he couldn't deliver it in a way that made it funny.
Because it's not him.
Roman Reigns is not Samuel Jackson. He doesn't make a terrible movie good. It's just not going to happen. He's not The Rock. You can give The Rock that tater tots line, and The Rock probably would have delivered it in a much funnier way.
The Rock would have said...
He probably would have ad-libbed or altered it.
Yeah, The Rock would have just said, I'm not doing this.
This is corny. I'm not going to say this crap.
Roman Reigns is apparently a stand-up guy, from what I hear. He's a real good guy backstage. Everybody loves him. And he does what he's told. And, I can't knock him for that. I really can't. But when he gets some of these stupid jokes.
You're going to tell Roman Reigns to get on his knees, and he would have got on his knees.
Yeah.
My good friend Donald Trump gave me that line.
What's up, Professor?
Sounds like you do all the time. You knock him for anything.
No, but I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him for trying to keep his job.
Listen. Unless I've been in there's been times where I've been in some bad moods and I was like to hell with him, but I've always made it simple. Like I never had a problem with him. I've had a problem with the way they've booked this man. Yeah, and I'm a strong proponent of who cares what they do to the guy you like. If you like them, you like them. They could turn your favorite wrestler into the biggest punk in the world. But if that's the guy you like, then that's the guy you like. Don't let them, because when people change their mind, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. They want you to stop caring about this dude. That's why they do the things that they do. And
but it's kind of hard to stay behind someone when the push isn't there.
Yes, but as far as the Roman Reigns fan is concerned, the push is there. So yes, they're pushing him, but they're doing it stupidly. But if you're a fan of Roman Reigns, then be a fan of Roman Reigns. If I'm a fan of The Miz, I don't like the way they have The Miz right now, but I'm not gonna stop being a fan of The Miz. No matter what they do to him, I'm not gonna stop being a fan, because it is what it is. I like who I like, and I don't care what they do. You have a lot of people who abandon hope because of the way the WWE treats a guy, and I sit back and it's like, but that's what they want you to do. And it's like
they want everybody to love.
They tried to silence Daniel Bryan, but you said no. And then you start saying yes. So if you like Roman Reigns, continue to like Roman Reigns.
No, but the way
presenting him is not cool.
Yeah, they want everybody to love Roman Reigns, and they can't get that to happen. And a lot of people, like the Professor, says, well, it's because the IWC is hip to it, and he's the chosen guy, so they don't want the chosen guy. There's a lot more to it than that, man. There's a lot more. Listen, hold on.
There's a reason why a lot of alternative and rock fans hate Nickelback. because it's so manufactured.
No, Nickelback is
It's so
pop
obvious.
music.
Yeah, and that's what Roman Reigns is. He's just so manufactured. He's the hand-picked corporate guy, and at the heart of hearts, people don't like that. So
And what's wrong with that?
It reminds me of Ted Cruz. Let me not get into politics, but damn, that guy's a freaking robot. But anyway,
and he's a Zodiac.
But if I could just say one thing. Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna change the subject into politics or something?
Go.
Donald Trump. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Trampolines.
Go ahead, Professor.
You know what? I want to compare something. Maybe you guys might agree or might not agree with this. But
I
you know what?
disagree.
Of course, you always will
I
disagree.
already disagree.
But you know what is similar? A little bit similar, because you might not say Sheamus is similar, but you know what? Years ago, Batista and Roman Reigns have kind of got the similar kind of issues with each other. In terms of Batista was so-so on the mic, but when he was a good guy, after he broke away from the Evolution, after he had all that push, you know, he had his moments on SmackDown being the heavyweight champion, but the only difference was that Batista had John Cena being John Cena and being the man, so he didn't have that pressure of trying to carry the company on his back. But then it took 5 years, and people were like, man, he's getting boring and all that. And once he turned heel in 2010, that was his best run. So we're hoping and praying, you know, maybe IWC or anybody, that Roman Reigns could get that same kind of thing if he turns heel. I just don't know. What do you think, guys?
I think there's a good point what you're making, but the thing is this: when Batista was on his game or whatever, there was nobody around that people really liked. You know, they didn't care for Triple H, so they couldn't wait for him to take the title of Triple H. John Cena, the John Cena hate was at its height, so he was an alternative to John Cena. It was when, you know, they started, you know, it was when like guys like, you know, Taker and Edge were, you know, like on their way back where it was like, you know, we don't really care for him like we used to anymore. So it started to die down a bit. And you're right, they did the right thing by turning him heel, and they kind of saved him on his exit out. And you know, so you have a valid point, but it's just also that there's so many people to like other than Roman Reigns. That's the difference between what Batista went through and what Roman Reigns is going through right now. There wasn't that many people to like back then. Right now, there's too many alternatives that people say, hey, we'll take Bray Wyatt. We'll take Dean Ambrose. We'll take, you know, Kalisto at this point. And if they put Kalisto in a match with Roman Reigns, do you not see Kalisto getting the majority of cheers?
They'll make Kalisto a star.
Yeah, for real.
If they put him over, he'll be that dude. He'll be Rey Mysterio overnight, man. But let me go back and talk about the Roman Reigns thing that everybody says it's because he's the chosen guy. That's why people don't like him. And they go back, you know, and they talk about like a guy like Hulk Hogan. He was the chosen guy. People loved him, and they were like, "Oh, but people didn't know that he was the chosen guy." Yeah, they did. Okay, yeah. So what? They didn't have the internet back then. They still knew. People are smart. People are hip to it. I knew that Bret Hart was that dude. You know, like I knew they were going to give him the title. I was a little kid, and I already knew. You know, so people can figure that out. Listen,
yes, but what
the thing with Roman Reigns, it doesn't matter what they have. It does. Well, listen, let me make my point. The thing with Roman Reigns is he does not connect with the people. It's not about, I mean, to a certain degree, some people may be like, okay, he's that guy that Vince McMahon wants, so that's why I don't like him. But I think a lot more people, because the IWC, like you said before, is not filling those arenas. I'm sorry. There's tons of other people in there, and they're not connecting with Roman Reigns either. Okay, and the reason they're not doing that is because he can't connect with the people as a face. He just does not have the charisma to do it. He doesn't. It's plain and simple.
I think he does. He does connect with 2 out of 3.
No, he doesn't even do that because they would be buying his merchandise. He connects with them at a certain level with the kids and the women. But is he moving merchandise like that, man? The way this guy's,
I don't know that.
He's not. The way this guy's being pushed, the way this guy's being featured on television, I want to see Roman Empire shirts all over the place, man. It's just not happening. They need to turn this guy heel. Bottom line.
Monday night is one of the problems. Is one of the issues. He's too much of a pretty dude.
And that's another thing. Listen, The Rock. The Rock was a good-looking dude.
Yeah, and that's people hated him for that.
People loved The Rock.
A lot of people hated him in the beginning. In the beginning.
In the beginning, a lot of the people hated The Rock because he was corny as hell.
Yeah,
he came out being
you still had women liking him because they just thought he looked good. Women didn't care about that crap.
Not when he was Rocky Maivia. Nobody cared when he was Rocky Maivia. When he had the pineapple haircut.
We were at the shows. Women were going nuts for that dude. The dudes were booing him, but the dudes and the kids. But the chicks didn't care. It was a light-skinned dude with good hair. So as far as they were concerned,
what's this good hair thing? I don't know what that means.
You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
That hair wasn't good back then.
So at the end of the day, the chicks are, you know what I mean?
I have zero idea what you're talking about.
Forget it. Just go. We're doing live.
We're doing it live. Hey, but look, Stone Cold Steve Austin had women that loved him. Bret Hart, I remember my sister made me take her to a WWE event just so she could reach out to Bret Hart because she was in love with him. She thought he was sexy. So I mean, this whole good-looking thing that Roman Reigns is too good-looking, that's why guys don't relate to him. I don't buy that.
I'm not saying that.
If Roman Reigns was good-looking, let me finish my point. Thank you very much, A-Track Brown. If Roman Reigns connected with the fans, it wouldn't matter if he was good-looking. It would be even better because the women would be with him and the guys would be with him too, just like The Rock did. And they're like, okay, this guy is related to The Rock, therefore we can make this happen. It's not happening. You understand what I'm saying?
Because it goes back to that connection factor you were talking about. The Rock knew how to connect the dudes because The Rock was, as pretty as he was also a dude. Stone Cold wasn't pretty, but Stone Cold was a dude.
A man.
Yeah. He's a man.
Man's man.
But, Roman Reigns is like, it's like I said, it's when he became an ass kicker, when he was going nuts and beating the hell out of Triple H, that's when he connected. That's his connection. Coming out, raising hell, leaving. That's it. Hulk Hogan drew people in by the best way Hulk Hogan drew people in was getting his ass whooped.
Well, Hulk Hogan is the most charismatic guy ever in a wrestling ring. Me.
When Hogan would get done in by the Big Boss Man or King Kong Bundy or Earthquake, he had a way of selling that pain that made you want to cry. The only person who could rival that, in my opinion, was two people back in the day who actually, when they would get beat up, touched my heart. Tito Santana and Ricky the Dragon.
The flying jalapeno.
Yo, whenever those two would get jumped, and the way they sold it, it brought tears in my eyes. Like, somebody come out and help them, please. So Hogan had that.
And if you think for 1 second that the women weren't Hulkamaniacs, that they didn't love Hulk Hogan.
Of course, I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm pretty sure it came crashing down and
it hurt inside.
Okay.
Hey, Professor, you wearing a Hulkamaniac shirt, man. I'm a Hulkamaniac. I make no bones about it. So, I don't know. Anyway, listen.
I got on the Hulk.
True. And in the spirit of St. Paddy's Day, which is around these times, big ups to all my Irish people. He's wearing green. Somebody had to represent. A-Track Brown is doing it.
And by the way, guys, I cried when Barry Horowitz always lost. So you
were crying every week. I think you had a different problem, brother. Don't blame it on Barry Horowitz. Okay.
No, man, they fixed the doctors fixed that, so don't worry about that. But you know what? Yeah. I just want to ask you guys a very serious question.
Is wrestling fixed?
Always said, What was that?
You said you wanted to ask me a very serious question. I'm like, is wrestling fixed?
A very serious. No, that's fixed already. Don't worry about that. But anyway, the serious question is this: A-Track, Billy Ray, you've always said not turn him heel, but be a monster. Like A-Track on the PW Hustle YouTube channel was screaming in effigy when Roman Reigns did what he did to Triple H. Now, my question is, forget about the booking that you've seen. Let's just say they continued him being the monster, beating up people all that time. A, would that burn out very quickly? And B, how would you maintain that momentum if he can't talk?
Oh, it's very simple. Now, I'm not saying make him part-time, but you don't have him come on TV every week.
That's a problem.
No. You what you do is like if you're not having him wrestle at one point, he could do a backstage interview. He can in terms of promos, his promos should be pre-recorded. Forget having him come out there in the audience.
Oh, like
unless it's after a pay-per-view. Yeah. Unless it's after a pay-per-view, he doesn't need to come out there and speak to the people. Do something pre-recorded so it doesn't come off as corny. Work with him, like I've always said from the jump, book this man like Diesel. That is his niche. That's what he should be doing.
And you know what?
He's the new Big Daddy Cool.
And
back. That's it.
And we've been saying this for a while. Actually, the Diesel references, the Kevin Nash references to Roman Reigns.
Matter of fact, if they make him a heel, he needs to be all about the ladies.
Yes. God.
You dudes keep dissing me. The kids dissing me. So you know what? I'm here for the ladies now. The ladies love me.
And then you know what?
Then
the next night we'll all come out and be like, "Yo, Roman Reigns is awesome. Roman Reigns is amazing."
Exactly.
Forget everything we said. That last episode we filmed. Forget it.
Either make him that sexual eye candy for the lady, or make him sexual eye candy, maybe for guys. Give him some boys. These are my boys, and make his boys the Usos.
I'm Roman Reigns,
and
this is my empire instead of the boys.
Roman Castle.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Roman Castle.
The Roman Castle.
Fuck it, that's it. The Roman Castle. That's what I like. The Roman Castle.
Hey.
Have them coming out with that Roman guard, the skirts that they wore, whatever.
That's horrible.
With a spear and a whole nine. I don't give a damn.
The Roman toga.
Have them looking like the cover of a Trojan condom.
All right, Professor. Let me get your thoughts. Go ahead, man. What were you gonna say?
You know what? I mean, I like those points. I was just gonna say, like, Roman Reigns is at least trying to be like Big Daddy Cool Diesel on Twitter. He's going after the IWC men. The men are saying, you're booking us wrong. If you go on his Twitter, he's actually going after these male fans. So you know what? Check out Roman Reigns' Twitter at WWE Roman Reigns. Shameless plug, but he's going after the male fans. I hope they can bring that out in him on Monday Night Raw and Thursday Night SmackDown.
All right, so let's in the interest of time, let's move forward here. What happens at WrestleMania? Okay, it's him versus Triple H. I'm not very optimistic about this match. I'm not.
What a theme here again.
What are we going to do here with, what bells and whistles are going to come out? I mean, Roman Reigns is going to win this title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the foregone conclusion. Roman Reigns will win at WrestleMania. No, Professor, you're nodding your head. Tell me why.
I think Triple H is going 2 years in a row with winning his matches at WrestleMania for some reason. I don't see I see Roman Reigns, if they're gonna continue him in the babyface role, in the babyface push, he's getting screwed out of the match. And I think we've already seen the writings on the wall.
How many times are they gonna screw this guy out of a match?
Well, you know what? They're gonna screw him as many times until the people get it right.
Okay.
Until the fans understand and cheer him like they're supposed to be brainwashed people.
Hey, Track Brown.
That's what it is.
Well, after what I saw on Monday with Dolph Ziggler, I kind of felt maybe Dolph Ziggler might turn heel next week and turn and join the Authority, and they'll try to make that more sympathetic on the part of Roman Reigns. But that was just my speculation. But overall, what I think is going to happen at Roman Mania, at WrestleMania, I think we will see the reuniting of the Shield. I don't think that, of course, Seth Rollins is hurt, but Seth Rollins is, if you paid attention, he's back in in-ring training without a leg brace and lifting weights. He doesn't have to wrestle. He's set to come back at SummerSlam to compete at SummerSlam. So if he's set to come back to compete at SummerSlam, he could do a few run-ins, bump a few people. Now, no high-flying stuff, nothing crazy.
We don't know. We don't know what he can do. We have no idea.
That's true. We don't know. But who's to say they won't bring the Shield back together? Because if the Shield reunites as Roman Reigns is champ, who's gonna boo that? Who's gonna boo the Shield? Yeah, now, maybe next night on Monday Night Raw, they might be cheering for Dean Ambrose or Rollins. No, but at least for that moment, for that WrestleMania, it saves them from getting booed.
All right, so you're talking about just salvaging the WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they can care less about what happens on the next night at Monday Night Raw. It's all about saving WrestleMania and making him look good. So I would not be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock came out dressed like a Shield member, and it was The Rock, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. And The Rock sets it up like, The Rock has some things to do, but I got a feeling for me. And Seth Rollins comes out, and he's just on the sidelines till he's ready to come back, and he can make appearances or not. I don't know, but all I know is that the only thing I could think of for them to save Roman Reigns from getting booed out of the building is to reunite the Shield. I know people might think that's crazy, but that's just
No, it makes sense. I mean, they're not going to boo, they're going to cheer.
And if that happens, I automatically win the Apter Cup. C'est la vie.
That's like 5 points right there, Billy Ray.
That counts as 0 points. All right, just to let you guys know. And you know what?
If that happens,
just to save face, I will make the same prediction. Listen to this prediction. The Shield will reunite at WrestleMania, right? And this way, Roman Reigns can get over with the fans. It's amazing. Anyway, listen, all right, so I think Roman Reigns wins at Mania. I don't know how they're going to salvage this, man. I would have him win and turn heel. I don't know how the hell they're going to do that against Triple H.
Well, he beats Triple H and then he wins the title. He continuously beats the crap out of Triple H. And you know what? You have a double turn.
Okay.
Don't have that match be the last match. You got to have Undertaker versus
I think Undertaker
Shane
versus Shane is going to close, yeah.
No. At this point, I still think it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H because Triple H is going to want to have the last match unless they convince him otherwise.
But about the interest in the match,
you have Taker versus Shane be the last match. Roman Reigns gets involved. They're not going to like that he does it against the Undertaker, so you have it be a double turn. So the authority is not completely gone. It's just a new authority, and then the authority comes back as face authority against Shane. I don't want to see that either. I just don't put it past them.
Okay, I can understand that.
This is just speculation.
I can understand that. Go ahead, Professor.
Well, you know what? Since y'all going for your 5 points, I'm just gonna go with my other prediction. I think Triple H will win, and he will still be the champion. And I think Dolph Ziggler will be the newest member of the Authority. And he's going to super kick Roman Reigns at the end. He's going to do he's going to be HBK 2.0 against John Cena 2.0 for the next pay-per-view. That's how it will go.
All right, man. All right. Listen, man.
And Dolph Ziggler that title? You think Triple H should just be like, I got to go away for a while because Shane won, and they say, get out of here, you're fired, and they just give him the belt?
You know what? Why not? I mean, Triple H was handed the belt years ago, when they did the splits, so why can't he hand Dolph Ziggler the heavyweight title and just do it?
You know what? Speaking of split, I hope they do the brand split, to be honest with you.
I hated it. I hated the brand split, but they can use it now. It would make sense.
Roman Reigns can use a brand split, so he can be on SmackDown.
No, everybody. Neville can.
They got too many people.
Neville can use a brand split. What's his name?
Neville's a splinter right now.
Yes, he can use a lot of things. Tyler Breeze. He might do better in a SmackDown, when he doesn't have to compete for time. Who knows what they would do with Kevin Owens, There's a lot of things that people, a lot of wrestlers that can benefit from a split brand right now. But, hey, listen, man. Roman Reigns can be fixed, in my opinion. I think it can be fixed. You got to turn him heel. You turn him heel, and eventually, look at what Seth Rollins started out as a heel, and he's going to come back as a face, and people are going to lose their minds for him. They could do the same thing with Roman Reigns, man. Turn him heel. Turn him heel, turn him heel, turn him heel, and that'll be a better look. What is that? Is that Matilda? You stole Matilda. It was you. All this time I thought it was Haku. Did you reach him?
I stole Matilda. Here she is. This is the Big Slam Nation mascot. This is Chaos. Say hello to the people, Chaos.
The Islanders are coming for you.
All right, man. Let's wrap, man. Thank you for joining us here at Big Slam Nation, man. Next week, hopefully we have a bigger crew with us. Maybe we'll even have Big Ray with us. Who knows if Big Ray's out of the hospital? I want to wish Big Ray a speedy recovery. You guys got anything to say to Big Ray?
Yes, God bless you, man. Get your ass back ASAP.
ASAP.
Is he back already?
No, he's still in the hospital. Go ahead, Professor.
Prayers, Big Ray.
Yeah,
Get
man.
well soon, buddy.
All right, man. We want to say what's up to OK Fabe. He's going to be at WrestleMania, by the way. So if you guys are down there, look out for OK Fabe. Say hello to him. Fame Black. He's going to be at WrestleMania.
Make sure you have a BSN sign. Okay,
yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Fame Black. He's going to be at WrestleMania. Go say what's up to Fame Black. And, of course, the legendary Bill Apter will be in the vicinity as well. I want to say hello to my man, Bill Schuyler. What's up, Sunday Segway? Am I missing anybody? That's it, man. Big Slam Nation. My name is Billy Ray Valentine. Take it easy, brothers. Bye-bye.
Hotline Bling.